Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? This is Rick and
Lee
from the Bestop marketing team, and we're here on Top Talk, episode 16. And this week, what we're covering is JL Wrangler door options from Bestop. And what we want to talk to you guys about just right off the bat here is why would you even want to remove your doors from your JL Wrangler? And they come with great doors. They're full. I guess they're aluminum, right, Lee?
Not on the JL, yeah, it's an aluminum door.
I was going to say full steel doors. I'm used to saying that. Full aluminum doors, complete with power windows where equipped and power locks in some cases. But what are you really gaining by taking this door off and putting on one of our door options?
It's fun that you mentioned the full steel doors. We've been saying that since 1987. I feel like, or maybe even earlier than that, 1987 on the Wrangler specifically. But what are you gaining when you remove your factory doors and you go either doorless or with an aftermarket door is experience, right? It's all about the experience. There's a number of benefits that you can see on the trail, and there's a number of just pros and cons to any door setup, but the number one reason you're going to do it is just experience. You're driving a Wrangler, and this is one of the very few vehicles on the road that you're allowed to strip the doors off and go for a cruise, and it's not like anything else out there.
I guess that actually brings up a good question. Someone who is new to it, are you actually allowed to? I mean, is that something that is 50 state legal, or does that vary by county? I never thought about that actually.
It is not 50 state legal, so check your own local laws where they apply. Some states you can just take your doors off and cruise around as it is. You still have one active rear view mirror as long as that's unobstructed. Some states do have more mirror laws that you'll need to purchase a mirror to go onto your either on your aftermarket doors or mount onto your windshield frame. Some states require that you have a door, so you may be able to satisfy this law with something like a tube door, like our Element door. I've even seen people do silly things like use a piece of string to satisfy that law.
Wow. It seems like a bit of a stretch for a door. I guess the good thing to point out that the door options we're going to talk about today both have the option to mount a mirror, and that will be not only a convenience thing, but in some areas could be helping you stay abiding by the law. So make sure that you do that in all cases. So as far as the experience and stuff goes, I mean, what you're really saying is, some days it's great to have no door on at all, right? But just recently when I was in Penn's Woods, I mean, half door was the way to go, where you kept mud from splashing up into the vehicle, but at the same time, you had the open air feel, and didn't have. I mean, it's great to roll down the window, but it's not quite the same as having a full half door, like it was a core door in that case, but like some of these door options we're going to talk about today. Is there anything else I guess you would add to that?
Well, yeah, that's a really good point. A lot of people who haven't experienced core doors think, hey, why would I spend the money, or half doors, they think, why would I spend the money on going with an aftermarket half door? I can just roll my window down. Well, I will tell you, it's not even apples to oranges. Driving around with a half door, you're going to experience a lower area of the door that you can put your arm out, you can lean out to look around, there's more air flowing, you don't have the rest of the door up above you, and I know that sounds like kind of small potatoes, it sounds like small points, but when you're in the vehicle, it's a pretty big difference between just rolling your windows down and going with an actual half door.
Maybe one other thing that people might ask about a aftermarket door option like we offer is, are they safe? Or as a full steel door, can I run them year round? That kind of stuff, I guess. What would you say about that?
Well, when you ask me, are they safe? The answer that I will have to give you is a very dry answer, and it's that any aftermarket half door is for protection from the elements only and is not designed to keep you safe or keep you inside the vehicle. And that should probably be taken to heart. This isn't a replacement for a seatbelt. You should always be wearing your seatbelt. You should always be driving within your abilities and within your limits. This is not a substitute from a safety point from your full factory door.
It's not going to provide any sort of protection in an impact, or at least of substance. There's a big sticker right on the door that says that, I guess, to Lee's point, as a disclaimer. So are they safe? Yes. Are they as safe as a full steel or aluminum door? Probably not. So, I mean, it's up to your discretion to be using these. And obviously they were designed for off-road use, which is primary use for these. However, people cruise around town all the time. I see them no doors on, half doors, all types of configurations. So you can run them year round if you want to. But before we start to talk about the two-piece soft doors, I want to talk a little bit about removing your factory doors in general. Definitely a great idea to roll down your window and fold your mirror in. We've all made that mistake to not do those things, I guess.
Leaving your window rolled up is a rookie mistake. Roll your window down before you take your door off.
Yeah. And also picking it up from the outside where you can see the hinges, or especially when you're putting it back on, that makes a big difference. Let's move on to some of our options here. And first, I'd say let's start with the two-piece soft door. And that's going to be made for a whole bunch of different Wranglers. I mean, it goes back as far as I can think of. I mean, maybe not a two-piece door, but a soft door in general. Goes way back there into the Willys and CJs.
This is the birth of Jeep.
Right, exactly. So this is about as Jeep as you can get is a soft door. The JL version is a two-piece soft door. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, like Rick mentioned earlier, two-piece soft doors are about as Jeep as you can get. And this door is probably one of our most fun products that we have and one of my favorite. You can drive to the trailhead, you can take the doors off, throw them in the back of the Jeep, not worry about them getting scratched up or scratching other things that you own that are floating around in the back of the Jeep. Then you can enjoy a day on the trail, doorless if you want, you can throw on the lowers if you want. It's also a product that we have that takes a little bit of compromise. This door is going to flap on the highway a bit more than a door like an Element door will. It's probably going to let in, if you're on the highway in a rainstorm, it's going to let in a few more drops of water than a more stiff door would. It's a very versatile door, but it does come with a couple compromises in the fact that it is a soft door. Worth mentioning too that these doors have to be bent to shape. They come very two-dimensional, and Jeeps have evolved to have a little bit more shape nowadays than they used to. Best way to get these to fit well on your vehicle is to stand between the door that's open and your Jeep, grab up in the top corner and just pull it down. And you want to bend that top inner corner to make contact with the Jeep before the rest of the door does, ensuring that you have a nice snug seal.
Yeah, I was going to mention that bending the upper helps a lot to create a little preload almost against the upper. These doors, I haven't personally had any flapping, you mentioned, but they're definitely louder than your full steel door or full aluminum door in this case. And yes, you sometimes will get some leaks to Lee's point earlier, but I mean, they're a super versatile door, recommended for anybody who basically just wants any option at any moment. And it's kind of like our soft tops in a lot of ways. It has a number of different conversion options. They're easy to manipulate. I like to throw them on, throw them off. They're not quite as permanent as like a core door or a Element door in a lot of ways, I think. So that's the two-piece soft door, and I think it's great if you kind of want to do it all out on the trail, have the availability of all those options. Okay, so the Element doors from Bestop, they're not exclusive to the JL. However, we don't have as many options. As we mentioned, the two-piece doors go way back, but we have the Element doors for YJ, TJ, JK, and JL, right?
CJ7.
And CJ7, you're right, because YJ would be in that same category. So the Element door goes a ways back, but basically, it's a door system that is designed to be, well, I guess built upon might be a good way to say it, right?
Yeah.
Tube doors are nothing new out there, right? But I guess what we decided to do was make something you could expand upon, right?
Yeah, there's a variety of tube doors out there on the market. To my knowledge, we're the only ones that offer a soft upper that can really seal off the inside of the Jeep from the outside. So if you want to go with a tube door, and then you think, hey, later on I'm not totally sure what direction I want to go with half doors. I might find myself wanting a solid enclosure later on. That's something that you can add on to the Element door. So you can add on a solid enclosure coming very shortly for the JL, and you can also add on the soft upper. You can just add and remove as you please. So you can throw the soft upper onto the Element door, drive to the trailhead, take it off, throw it in the back, and still enjoy the tube door or the tube and door with the enclosure as it sits. So if you're just getting into a half door and you're not totally sure which way you're going to go, this is going to tailor itself very well to that. If you wanted to run this as, let's call it a 3-season door, you could put the enclosure on for the spring season, for the fall season, and you could take the enclosure off and run just the bare tube Element door through the summer and be pretty comfortable the whole time.
Yeah.
This is also for somebody who's going to want a more semi-permanent fixture than when we were talking about the two-piece soft door. You can add and remove in the blink of an eye. The Element door is going to have a little more weight to it, so it's not something you would want probably floating around the back of the Jeep when you're going wheeling. So it's more of a semi-permanent install than the two-piece soft door would be.
we don't have the enclosure yet for the JL. What are we looking at timing-wise on that off the top of your head?
A month or two, and it's going to be domestically made.
Okay, great. So we're not too far away from that, where you can build the complete element door system for your JL. And I guess we should probably quickly talk about the core door for JL, which is, I know many of you have been asking me and our customer service about that, and I wish I had good news for them, Lee, but at the moment we are not planning a core door for JL. I've been telling people I can't completely rule it out for JL, but at the moment we don't have any plans for producing that. So unfortunately, just the JK owners are going to get to enjoy that for at least the short term. But we're only, what, 2 years, 3 years into the JL right now. There's plenty of time for that to change, you know. So
yeah, and so we don't have a solid date yet. It definitely hasn't been ruled out, but we have been receiving, I can't tell you guys how many questions we get, how much excitement we get around this, and we really want to thank you for being excited about the core doors for the JL.
Agreed. But anyway, that wraps up our door options for JL. I want to thank you guys for joining us today. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask our customer service or put them in the comments down below. Anything you want to wrap up with, Lee?
Give it a shot. Take your doors off, throw on a half door, throw on no doors if you haven't done it before. Just experience your Jeep. Open it up, take some things off, go for a drive.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the cheapest way to do it. Just take them off,
Totally.
Go drive around for a little bit.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, thanks for watching, everybody. And until next time, you guys keep it real out there.
Catch you next week.